How's it going, guys? A couple weeks ago, I took a drive in a used Defender 110, one of the new ones, the P400 model. And so I just kind of wanted to go over that vehicle drive. And I only got a little bit of footage because I was driving it and I didn't want the salesman to get weirded out or whatever. And it probably wasn't fair for me to test drive the vehicle, but he offered to let me drive it, even though I told him I probably wasn't going to buy it. So my wife and I went down there to Bountiful, Utah, where this one was advertised on Facebook Marketplace for $77,000. When I got down there, it was the window sticker was showing $79,985, something like that, almost $80,000 for a used one of these vehicles. Jennifer, what do you think of the inside of the Defender?
Not a fan.
Is it fugly?
I don't know.
It's weird.
It's very minimalistic. It's like I'm in some kind of a spaceship pod.
There's a little bit of bait and switch on the ad. Internet ad shows 77,000. So anyway, that was kind of annoying when we got there. Not that I was really that interested in buying it, but it did show 20,000 miles. Didn't look like it had been really used that much off-road. Probably someone just decided they'd rather have something else. So on the test drive, we just kind of did some in-town driving, and then we hit the interstate for a little bit, I-15, heading down to Salt Lake from Bountiful. And I just wasn't impressed with the vehicle. And in typical Land Rover fashion, it's dead. It would not unlock or start. So they're trying to find a jump box for it. Oh, look, it's got the chiller. Somebody probably left that on and killed the battery.
It is cold in there.
You know, the Land Rover, like, I'm a big Land Rover fan. As you know, I've had a lot of Land Rovers. I've had a lot of Jeeps. I've had a couple Land Cruisers, Toyotas, Toyota trucks, the old mini trucks from the 80s, and a Sequoia and a couple other different trucks. So I've had a lot of different off-road vehicles I've built up over the years, and I've mainly stuck with Land Rover and Jeep because that's the platform I like. Toyota doesn't do it for me. I don't like their interiors, and I don't like IFS. To me, a true good 4x4 has good articulation and has solid axles underneath it. Something that's robust and strong, and that's why I've stuck with Land Rover and Jeep over the years. That's why I've used them. So driving an IRS and IFS off-road vehicle is really weird to me, and I really didn't like the feel of it. It felt kind of like a car, but the air suspension just made it really too bouncy. Like on the interstate, I felt like I was floating along, and it didn't feel very controlled. The engine and powertrain, this was the hybrid model I drove, had the 8-speed automatic with the 3-liter straight 6 turbo engine, gas powered engine. That's all we get in the United States because our government's obviously stupid. Should allow us to have more diesels other than just giant Cummins or Power Stroke or whatever. A lot better mileage out of a 4x4 when you have a diesel engine in it. So after driving it, my impressions were definitely would not own one.
Oh dear.
This is the back seat. There's a lot of room back here. Kind of weird. I didn't even get to take it off-road. I just drove it on the street and decided it wasn't for me. Didn't feel comfortable, didn't like it, didn't like the drive. The engine and transmission seemed to have plenty of power, plenty of pickup. But once you got going like over 50 or so, there just wasn't a whole lot of power left. The thing doesn't really feel like it weighs, man, it felt like it was heavy. Like, you know, I've got a 9,000 pound Ram Mega Cab Cummins, my 2018 Cummins, that weighs 9,000 pounds. That thing feels heavy, but it has the power to move it, and it has the brakes to stop it. The Discovery, I don't even know what they weigh, but man, it just felt way too heavy for what it was. So it didn't feel comfortable in corners, even though it has probably active suspension on that model that should control it through the corners. On the interstate, it felt like really floaty, bouncy, and didn't feel very controlled in traffic. And that's coming from a guy that's driving a Jeep Gladiator with 35s and a 2-inch lift right now. And that thing does not feel stable either. But it still feels way more stable than that the new Defender feels. I drive old Mercedes that have really soft suspension as well. I'm sitting in a 94 W140 S500 right now, and this thing has a plush soft suspension. I daily drive a 1987 Mercedes S300 SDL, which is very soft, and it's lowered too. So this thing just did not feel very good. Didn't feel comfortable. And I don't know. It's way too big for what it is. It's almost like driving a minivan is what my wife said too. And I hate to, like, you know, talk crap about that vehicle. My buddy and I have a shop. We build old school Defenders and old school Discoveries and Range Rovers. And we absolutely love that brand. But I don't know where Land Rover has gone. They have lost their identity, in my opinion. It was a rugged 4x4 that you could cross continents in, that you could explore jungles. You could drive through sand dunes. You could explore deserts. It conquered the world. It conquered the Darien Gap. It's conquered Asia. It was, you know, they were the first ones to ever drive to most places. Most Land Rover series vehicles have seen most of the world prior to Land Cruiser or Toyota ever going anywhere. And so it's kind of a disappointment to see where the brand is going. And I wish that Land Rover, you know, would return to their roots. It's not just about being pretty, or I feel like what they have done now is move themselves into a different class of people. Like they've gone away from their base. Their base was utilitarian, farmers, and now they're just a luxury vehicle, overpriced luxury vehicle, in my opinion. You can get so much more out of a Jeep anymore and have the same kinds of luxury. Maybe you don't get power seats in a Rubicon Gladiator or Wrangler or whatever, but does it really matter that much? I don't need 20-way adjustable seats in my Gladiator. I'm just going four-wheeling and taking on trips and exploring and messing around. And that's the icon that Land Rover is trying to live off of, right? They're trying to show that these vehicles are off-road worthy, that they have cred off-road. They don't. I've watched plenty of videos with them. Some guys trying to put them on 35s, and Jeeps will walk right by them. The old Land Rover Defenders will walk right by them. The old Discoveries walk on by. They don't have any issues. They just go. Even without lockers and all the fancy technology that the new one has, the old ones are way more capable and walk right on by them. So I sure wish that Land Rover would get back to the roots. That's my whole point of this video. Nate, my business partner, and I have put in an order for an Ineos Grenadier, which is basically a remake of the Defender in modern terms. They're using a BMW power plant. They're using solid axles on it, live axles, as they say in other countries. And It's going to have lockers, real lockers. It'll have ABS. Why wouldn't you want to buy one of those when they're the same price as a Defender? And way more capable. I mean, and you can lift them. They're still coil sprung. They're still live axle. They still got a low range. They've got a 8-speed automatic transmission and a turbocharged BMW engine in them. They will supposedly be coming with a diesel option as well in the future. So Land Rover, you lost it. And that's why there are other options now that are way better. So anyway, I guess my point is, it's sad, you know, that this is the road they've taken. And I'm not going to say that any of these vehicles I've owned are like perfect or, you know, everything has something wrong with it. Is the Jeep perfect? No, definitely not. Is the Land Rover perfect? No. Is anything you drive perfect? No, they all have their quirks. They've all got issues. They've all got problems. I don't care if you have a Toyota with the frame cracking in half or rusting out or engines blowing head gaskets all the time. Trust me, they're not perfect. I've owned a couple Toyotas in my life. They do not have the reliability that their owners purport that they have. Sorry. They just don't. And most times when you go buy one, you either pay the Toyota tax or you buy one that's been freaking driven to crap and there's nothing left of it. So you get to replace every single hose and gasket and go through the engine. And ask me how I know. I had 2 Land Cruisers that I bought and pretty much rebuilt. Suspension, springs, engine leaks. Those straight 6 engines suck. I don't care. They eat gas. They're not that good. Underpowered. Put a set of 35s on them, they don't go anywhere. The Jeep, yeah, you know, this one's nice. It's only got 36,000 miles on it now. I like it. But what's going to happen when it hits 100,000 miles? Will the engine blow up? I don't know. It's a chance you take. You know, Land Rovers, you know, the transmissions are pretty much bomb-proof in the old ones. But, you know, like the American V8s that we got, they had head gasket issues. Part of the maintenance was changing the head gaskets at 100,000 miles. So I don't care what you drive. Have fun in it, but don't be kind of a snob in it. I don't care what you drive, you know, things are going to have their issues. It's just about what you like. If you like a certain brand and it fits your style and you like working on it or, you know, whatever, drive it, have fun. If you don't like it, get something you like. Just, you know, have fun, get out there, wheel. That's what I'm about. Anyway, that was my take on driving the new Defender P400. Let me know in the comments what you think of them. If you've gotten to drive one yet, if you would buy one if you had the chance, or what your favorite vehicle is. I'd like to know. Thanks for watching.